Today we're gonna make 3 delicious and super healthy vegan spreads. Let me tell you about them. These spreads are a go-to for any time that you need a snack. You can put them on top of bread, you can put them on top of the crackers that I just made. The sprouted seed crackers are so good. I'm gonna leave the link right here or around here, so you go and click it and watch it because it is so good. Trust me. And the best thing is that this can actually replace a meal. With these dips, you can, if you want to make 2 pieces of toast, you have enough protein in this to make it a meal. Maybe just add some greens, some sliced tomatoes, fresh tomatoes, something simple. So you're gonna have it as a snack, or you can have it as a whole meal, or even put it as a spread at the bottom of a plate and then put something on top like a salad, some greens, some grains on top, some toasted nuts. I don't know, I'm just delirious right now because there are infinite possibilities, like I always tell you. So let me tell you more about this spread. The first one is gonna be a roasted beet chickpea spread. This is so good because when you roast the beets, the sweetness, the tenderness that it comes with them, it is so fabulous. And then we're gonna put some lemon juice because this lemon juice is gonna add that acidity. We don't want so sweet, right? We want a good balance into it. The second spread is a Nardello pepper carrot spread. This spread is gonna be so creamy. We're adding some toasted walnuts into it. And the Nardello pepper, it is one of my favorite peppers because it has a lot of flavor. It's not just like, bell pepper is good, red bell pepper, but Nardello is like, get out of here. This is my place. I am the kings of the red bell peppers, according to me. When I tasted it for first time, I was just like blown away because so much flavor in it. When we roast them, we're gonna bring even more. That's gonna be absolutely amazing. I think that's gonna be one of my favorites. And the third one, it is a very, you would say, humble, right? We're making it with beans, some white beans. So it's basically white beans and roasted shallots. So the shallots, when we roast them with olive oil and some thyme, they get so caramelized, they get sweet, it is just gorgeous, it is soft. And white beans, they are creamy as hell. You are in for a treat because if you think that guy wasn't gonna give them a fight to the other two, it will. Trust me when I tell you it is gonna be really good as well. So it's gonna be up to you, you're gonna decide. So, without further ado, let's get into the cooking part. Today it's already fall here, but still there's a lot of tomatoes, a lot of zucchini, a lot of eggplant, and so guess what we're making the dip with. So let's get the rest of the ingredients for today's video. What do you think it's gonna be? That's it. I'm very happy with what I got today. So now, let's go into the kitchen and let's get this done. Alrighty guys, I just got back from the market and look what I got. Some beautiful beets. We have some Nardello pepper. We have some, look at these shallots. Ooh, some beautiful thyme. We're ready to rock and roll. We're gonna make these spreads. You can pair them with the sprouted crackers that I showed you before because it's the ultimate combo, healthy combo for a snack. So you can make it in advance, enjoy it at home, and you'll be like, oh, you know what, I just want a little spread. By itself, you can put it on bread, or you can grab the crackers, the sprouted crackers with the seeds, or if you added nuts, even extra points, and just eat them, you know, so nice, knowing that you're getting protein, you're getting fiber, you're getting all the good stuff, right? No more cheating, no more eating garbage food. Let's get to it. These are so good that there is no need for cheat days. And that's the whole thing about this channel, that I'm gonna show you how to make delicious vegan meals every single time. So let's put our aprons on, what do you say, and let's start cooking. I'm very excited. Let's start with the roasted beet and chickpea spread. First thing we're gonna do is, remember, you always want to do the things that take the longest, right? In this case, we're gonna roast. We're gonna need a parchment paper or some aluminum foil, right? If you don't want it to be touching the aluminum foil, just put a parchment paper at the bottom and then cover it. Today I don't even have aluminum foil, so I won't be using it. I'm gonna use a glove really quick because of the beets, you know, it's gonna stain my hand and all of that. Cut the bottom, the top of the beet, and since we want it faster, we're going to be dicing it. So let's peel the beet first. We don't want the skin because the skin is a little bit tough. You could do it with the skin. There's no problem at all. It's just gonna change a little bit the color. That's it, really. But we could do it with the skin. You know, I actually have never done it with the skin. All right, so now we're just gonna dice them. If you want to evade this process, just put them whole in the oven, but they're gonna take about 1 to 2 hours to roast them. Since I want them to get roasted faster and also more flavor in them, I'm gonna just cube them, you know, in a medium size. Cubes is fine. Remember to always make a base so it doesn't slide. And then from here, we're just gonna cut 2 times vertically, then 1. When we're gonna basically do strips, then we put them together. This is super simple, easy. Watch out with your fingers, and then bam, we have these medium dice, and voila. To this we are adding garlic, so we're gonna remove the bottom and just very simply hold the knife, just scratch them, or just with your hand. You can do it like this too. Just put pressure, and then that's it. Why? Because we want the skin off. And then when the skin is off, we're gonna put it in there. Just like that, because we don't want small size pieces of garlic, if not it's gonna burn. So we just want it to get roasted. Alright, the next step is we're gonna season with salt. So we don't have to season later, right? If we season now properly, we don't have to do a lot of effort lately. So some salt, pepper just to cover or just to taste, you know. If you don't like it, don't put a little bit less or omit it. A little bit of olive oil, and then we're just going to mix it. Use your hand or use a spoon if you prefer. That's it. We just want the oil to cover it, all of them. And then last step, just going to fold this over, fold it again. Then this one I'm gonna fold it down, and the same thing with the other side. And this is gonna create like a little package. And like that, it's gonna generate the steam and then it's gonna get cooked. Okay, now that we have our package, we're gonna roast them at 400 Fahrenheit degrees for about 35 minutes, or until it's soft, that it might be like 10 minutes more. So, beets are done. Let's check it. It's been 45 minutes, not 30. They take a little bit longer, but not 2 hours, right? So we basically did it in less than 1 hour. That's super cool. Let's open our package. Let me show you. Ooh. Look at these beautiful beets. Can you see that they shrink a little bit? So look, even the garlic shrank, but it's so good. And it smells wonderful, trust me. Let's do the test. So look, with a knife, it's so easy, you know, it just goes through. So everything, we can cut them, all of them, but they're fine. So after this, it comes the easy part, because now when you have this, we just want to blend everything and season everything together. Let's just taste one of these babies. Something that I like to do before tasting anything, always smell, I don't know why. I always like to smell everything, except the bad things, like that's, I mean, I smell it, but I'm like, ugh. But this, I think it's just how I remember things. So I remember back in the day when I was in Mexico with my grandma and with my mom, even though my mom wasn't a good cook, I still have those memories in my brain, but like link to those smells. When I make red rice, I remember that. So let's smell it, taste it, because then you're gonna have an idea like, oh, okay, what's coming, you know, in the dip. It's really good. It's peppery, but it's pretty sweet. I mean, not that much. Has a little bit of sweetness, but also it has that characteristic flavor of the beets. And we're gonna mix it with the garlic and the chickpeas. It's just gonna be lovely. Okay, so we're getting to the best part, the blending. And do you see how easy it is? We just basically cut them, season them, put in the oven. After 45 minutes, take them out, and now we're just blending it. So easy. Maybe in the video it looks like longer, but it is so easy. So let's put the chickpeas in. We're gonna add half a cup of water. This is gonna help us to blend because the chickpeas, you know, they have beets. We already evaporated a lot of the water. They do have water, but still, we're gonna need a little bit extra for that creaminess. So we're gonna add, make sure you add all the garlic and most of the beets. We're gonna have a little bit extra just to put on top, you know, and then when we eat it, we have some chunks of the beets, you know, so it's kind of like fun. So let's start blending this bad boy with a little bit of olive oil as well. Just gonna put into it. Look at that green of this olive oil. So good. We want more creaminess. Have you made hummus before? Do you see how you add like the tahini, and that tahini is what, like lots of fat, right? And on top of that, you add olive oil. So that's kind of like the reason we're doing this, because we want it to be super creamy and yummy. You can omit it if you want as well, you know, there is nothing that you cannot do. It's your recipe. So let's blend it. We're gonna start slow, and then as it starts blending and everything, you can see that it's getting very, you know, it's good. Now let's pick it up. Oh, and look at that color, so gorgeous. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna stop right here because there are two things we can do right now. And when you're doing it, it's gonna be your choice. So we can leave it a little bit chunky if that's what you want, because the spread can be also chunky. Look, like now we have little chunks of the chickpeas and a little bit of chunks of the beets. And you know, it's different texture. Some people like it, some people don't. So you can make the call right now and say like, okay, I like it chunky. In the meantime, I'm gonna taste it to see if it is all. Oh my God. So good. Salt is great. So let's keep blending. I'm gonna do it smooth, but you have the choice. Look at this wonderful color, my goodness. And the texture. It can be even creamier if we add more fat. So that's gonna be up to you, you know. You can add more fat in here. I'm not gonna add it because also I don't want so much oil this time. But sometimes I will, you know. It depends on my mood. But look, that's why you can see it like watery. That's why it's not creamy. You realize how sometimes like hummus looks so creamy and luscious? It's because of the amount of fat. So this doesn't have as much fat, that's why it looks like this. Now we're gonna make the Nardello pepper carrot spread, and I'm gonna show you a different way. We're gonna do it in a pot, because normally we're doing it in the oven, but what if you don't have an oven? You still can do it with just a pot and a little bit of heat, even electric or a gas stove. So let's do it. The first step is to clean the peppers. So this is very simple. So we're gonna remove the top, and then we're gonna cut them in half. Why? Because we want to remove the seeds. The skin of the Nardello pepper is pretty sturdy and thick, so you need a sharp knife. And then we're just going to press down and then slice our knife so all the seeds come out like super easily. So this is what we're looking for. We're gonna do that with all the peppers. You can actually do this with most of the peppers, even if, you know, like you just open them and remove the seeds, and that's what we want. After we have them like this, we're gonna cut them in bite-sized pieces. So, because we want them to kind of like sear in the pan and get some color, but also fast, because otherwise it would take forever. So we want small pieces of it. So now we're gonna do the rest of the ingredients. For the garlic, we're gonna do the same that we've been doing. We did this with the beets. So we're gonna just crush them, remove the skin, boom, take it out, put it like that, because it's a long cooking time. We don't want it to burn it. That's a very common mistake, that a lot of people chop the garlic and then they burn it and then it tastes different. So now we go with the shallot. We're gonna do the same, top, bottom. We remove the first layer. Remember, always remove the first layer because it's dry. You know, it's already dry because of the time, you know, that passed. Now put them together and bite sizes. The same as the pepper. Everyone had kind of like the same cooking time. Since this spread is gonna go in the blender, we're just gonna remove the top and the bottom of the carrots. Obviously wash them properly, like super well, you know, just wash them with water. So you remove all the dirt. And then we're just going to slice them thin. We want it the same. We want to slice them thin because of the cooking time. And because if we don't do that, they would take forever. So just slice all of them like this. And we're gonna cook them with everything in the next step. Okay, so lastly, we're just gonna dice this tomato. This is what is gonna add the water into the mix. So we don't have to add a lot of water so for the spread to cook itself. So we're cutting it in half, then do a little bit of kind of juliennes, and then just cut them in dice as well. The small, medium dice, that's fine, because we just want them to release the water. That's it. So let's start. We're gonna heat up our pan. We're gonna add olive oil into it. Okay, so now we're gonna add the Nardello pepper. Why the Nardello pepper first? Because the skin is very tough. And so we want them to kind of like pan sear, you know? We wanna sear them in the pan. So make sure your temperature is medium heat. Then we're gonna cook them for about 5 minutes. Leave them alone for like 1 minute. Then we're gonna stir them, and then you're gonna realize when you start getting some color in here, then we're gonna stir them again until like almost all of it is kind of like a little bit charred with some color in it, caramelized. So here you can see how we start getting some color in some of them. So that's what we're looking for, this, in all of them. So it's been around 3 minutes. We're gonna go for around 2 more. These bad boys are ready. We can see that color, the smell is beautiful, it's wonderful. I would love for you to smell it. Now we're going to add the shallots and the garlic, the whole piece of garlic. And we're gonna cook them for about the same time, 3 to 5 minutes, or until the shallots are soft. We don't want color in the shallots. We could get some color in them, but it's not completely necessary. So just stir them around, give them some space, and let them cook. Alrighty, now let's add these walnuts. What we want with the walnuts is to be in the oil, you know, start like getting a little bit kind of like pan fried with a little bit of the oil and all the juices that are in here. Since the shallots, they don't have a lot of water, so that's a good thing for us, because if it was a lot of water here, the walnuts wouldn't get any kind of like pan frying at all. So we're just gonna basically leave them here for about 30 seconds. And then after that, we're gonna start adding our carrots and at the end, our tomatoes. Okay, so now we can see the walnuts look all covered in their own oils and a little bit of the oil that was here. You can see now the peppers, it's been almost like 10 minutes. And look at this, they are almost, even they look super shrinked. And that's thanks to all the heat, because now all they were evaporated and now we have only flavor. So now let's put down the carrots. Boom! Look at that. Remember, we left the skin on. A plus is that, you know, it's gonna be a lot of fiber in here. And since we're gonna blend this is going to be full of fiber, full of goodness, and my God, full of flavor, of course. Guys, this smells Amazing. My goodness, this is gonna be so good. So what we're doing here is also kind of like pan frying the, I don't know if that's the correct word, but like we're kind of like adding more flavor. Everything that, you know, the flavor of the pepper release, you know, the shallots, the garlic, everything is getting into the carrots. That's why it's so flavorful. You know, what I see mostly in all the channels everywhere is like people just add everything into the pot and then it's being 1 minute and it's like, oh look, beautiful. You add the water and then you blend it. And I'm not saying there is something wrong with it, but if you want flavor, you have to give time to the ingredients, you know, to hug each other, you know, to fall in love with each other. Like look at this color of this carrot. You know, we have some caramelization here, natural caramelization. So we want that. And now this is the beautiful point in which we're going to start adding some of the wet ingredients. Okay? The reason we want these ingredients at the end is because if not, we're gonna have like lots of water, and by the time it evaporates, then all this thing would never get any color at all. For this dip, this is very important. So look at that, beautiful. And now we're gonna add a little bit of water just to help the process of cooking everything. We're gonna cover it with a lid and slowly we're gonna cook it so we can puree it. So this is gonna take about 25 minutes or a little bit less because we already cook everything, probably 20. But since it's low temperature, yeah, I would say 25 minutes. And also don't forget to add salt to the carrots like I did at this point. So while they're cooking, they're also getting all this flavor from the salt. We're seasoning it perfectly. And also I'm adding some pepper or pepper. We move around and then we close it. Oh, I just took this out of the pan and my goodness, I can't stop smelling it. It's so good. And I tasted it and it's smoky. This is because of the process that we did. So all the flavor is super concentrated here. It was 20 minutes. Watch out because it was getting stuck, a little bit stuck in the pot. So watch out, keep an eye on it, just don't leave it just like that. Now we're just gonna blend it. And as you can realize, this was just one pot dip. We put everything in the pot, we seasoned it very well. It took a little bit of time, but the result, it is just amazing. I know because the flavor, what I just taste and what I can smell, and my nose doesn't lie. So let's blend it. Let's just put everything in the blender. So in this spread, the walnuts serve as a medium to add creaminess. So this is what they're gonna do, and this is gonna be, I can't wait, honestly, I can't wait. So we're gonna do the same, start slow, go all the way and stir it. Remember, when you stir it with this, stir around the sides because you want everything to go in. Let's do it. Okay, so we're gonna stop. We're gonna bring all the mixture down, and we're gonna add a little bit of water or broth if you have. It's gonna be necessary for this. So we can start with 1/4 cup, and this is gonna be different for you. It's not gonna be a perfect 1/4 cup for you because sometimes maybe your tomato has a lot of more water, right? Or you let it in the pot a little bit longer and all the water evaporates, so you're gonna have to add a little bit more. So just see it with your eyes and then just like see the consistency, see when the consistency is right for you. Alrighty, I think this baby is done. Oh my goodness, look at this texture. So creamy and it smells wonderful. Oh my God, I can't wait to taste it. I'm really salivating. I feel like I want to taste it right now. And last but not least, let's do the roasted shallots and white bean spread. Let's get started. First of all, we're going to start by roasting our delicious shallots. We're going to put also a little bit of garlic and some lemon zest. Don't forget the thyme. Okay, so this is very simple. We're going to cut the top of the shallots, then we're going to cut them in half. We're going to remove the first layer, the very thin layer that it has, and then we're just going to put it like that on the tray. So we're going to do that with all of them. And we're gonna peel our garlic as well. For the garlic, we're just gonna do the same that we did for the beet spread. We cut the bottom, and now we're just gonna smash it. So look, the garlic comes out beautifully. And then we are gonna put it on the tray. That easy. You see? Okay, so let's put a little bit of olive oil on top. Not too much, just to cover them. Then we're gonna add a little bit of black pepper. And the thyme. So with the thyme, you want to grab the sprigs of the thyme and then just pull the leaves. You see? You don't leave anything in it. So one by one is better, because if not, you don't get all of them. So just pull gently. We're gonna do like that, about like depending on you know, the size of the sprigs that you get and how many thyme it gets. So it varies. I would say like about 10 sprigs. But you also can do it by eye. Just make sure when you put the thyme, put enough thyme, because the recipe is actually the white bean with thyme. So it actually needs to taste like thyme, because most of the times what I see in recipes happening is a lot of people say like roasted pepper dip, and then you taste it and then you don't taste the pepper, right? So just be aware of that, because if you say it has thyme, it gotta taste like thyme, right? That's the flavor, or at least that's my opinion. We're just gonna mix them now with our hands, just roughly, just to mix with the olive oil, and then cover them. We want to make another package, like the one we did before. So same, 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 minutes as well, or until you see that they're like melting. We're gonna open it, and they actually need to fall apart. And the smell needs to be rich and sweet and caramelized, you know, like those notes that we all love, like that. All right, so our shallots are ready. We're gonna check them. Open our little package over here. Look at this beauty. Boom. So creamy, caramelized, beautiful. Look at this garlic. Wonderful, the thyme. Oh my goodness. So now this is perfect. This is what we were looking for. And now we're gonna start blending our dip. All right, so as you can see, we're gonna repeat the process again. It's so simple. We're gonna add our shallots, our garlic, and the thyme, and all the liquid, all the goodness that is in them. We're gonna add our white beans as well. Oh, look at that, look at that. And then we're going to add some lemon zest. The lemon zest is gonna add lots of freshness into the dip. So you want to utilize the lemon zest from it. We're gonna also add some juice, you know, for some acidity. So we do all of it. Remember not to leave any here, because there is so many oils in the lemon zest. We're gonna add a little bit of olive oil. Wonderful. This is gonna be, remember, the olive oil is gonna add more creaminess into this. You can omit it if you want, but it's not gonna be as creamy as it could be, you know, because fats help to do that. We're gonna add some salt, just a little bit. We can taste at the end. And then we're gonna start blending. We're gonna start adding water as we see how it's progressing, because remember, your beans, when you cook them, some of them are gonna have more water. Some of them are gonna have absorbed more liquid. So let's start blending. It's gonna be so quick. Try to use a stick and just blend it, just to help the blender, you know. We're gonna go now high velocity. Okay, so look, this being 30 seconds on high speed, and this is the texture that we got. This is so creamy. It is very, very like a spread. Guys, this is really good. This is so good. Some of you are gonna realize that you don't want acidity, because I know, for example, if this was Ariana wouldn't add any acidity. I am an acidity guy, you know, I want all the food to have at least a little bit of acidity. That's why I'm gonna add a little bit of lemon juice, but you don't have to. So first, taste it. It's so good. It's creamy, it's kind of like, the texture is so smooth. I can even go more if I want it super smooth, but I can taste the thyme and it has a little bit of sweetness. It's not overly sweet, I promise. It's not like, oh my God, super sweet. So it's pretty good, very balanced flavor. In here, you can add, if you want it, you can add a little bit of parsley, you know, at the end, just chop to give it texture. Or another idea, it can be like even shallots, just raw shallots, but finely diced. Just add them there for a little bit of more texture. Or even if you want it, you can roast more than what they are in this recipe and chop the roasted shallots and put them on top. So now that I squeeze this, we're going to mix it in with this. And the consistency is like perfect for an spread. The best thing for this is that when you make spreads, you can always use these spreads as a dip. So the only thing that you need to do is a little bit of liquid and make it a little bit more runny. So look, I'm gonna show you right now. So this is what we get. Look, so creamy. My God, I told you, this guy was the underdog, not anymore. Look at this, so good. Oh. Didn't I tell you that these spreads were gonna be amazing? I know, they're so colorful, healthy, full of nutrients, and they're the perfect fit for the combo that I mentioned earlier with the sprouted crackers. Now that I mentioned that, I remember someone in the comments posted, hey, can you show me a spread or something that I can eat them with? So this is it. This is for that person, you know, that asked for that. So I am saying this because I want you to go into the comments and tell me what you think. Tell me, you know, which one are you gonna make? Which one is your favorite? The recipe is gonna be in the description. So there's no excuse for you not to make it. They're so good. Here in Vegan Cooking Mastery, I teach you how to add flavor into it. Not only make it look pretty, because they do look very pretty, but the most important thing is here that are flavorful, full of life. I always tell you, put energy into your food. Like, don't be sad when you're cooking. Don't be like, it takes so long to cook in Lalo. Like, I know, I do this for a living. Don't complain. I'm not trying to coach you, but what if I were? No, what I would say is, like, honestly, I would say, if you are gonna cook, just put your heart into it. Because if you don't, then it's not gonna be the same for you. Everything is energy. We are energy. These vegetables inside us, we are vibration. You know, we're always vibrating. So at what level of vibration you want to vibrate, and put that into your food and then eat it back. I hope you do it like, you know, with like lighthearted, like just be happy, be thankful. Like always, I really like to be thankful. Not just because I want to be like, oh, thank you, but because I am thankful, you know, that we have food, that you have food in your table, that you have the time to watch these videos. That's why I don't take it for granted, and I appreciate it a lot. With energy, let me tell you goodbye. If you like this video, please give me those thumbs up. It really helped me. And also subscribe to the channel, because remember, in this channel you're gonna learn from techniques, from how to cook better, more delicious, more healthy, everything trying to achieve balance, right? I don't believe in just be like hardcore, like everything like no fat at all, or no carbohydrates, or you know, like all these things that we hear around. So I just show you what I do, what my clients love. That's why they hire me. I've been doing this for plus 10 years. I just want to share that with you. So you have an amazing life. You eat very well, delicious every single day, because that brings me joy, and I do it with all my love to you. Subscribe, like, and share it with your family, share it with your friends. If someone needs this in their life, don't keep it to yourself. I know you want to keep it to yourself. Just share it, you know, share it with the world so they can also benefit from that. And until the next video, I'll see you, because something amazing is coming.